What's going on, everybody? My name is Monotooi, coach of the Tampa Bay Luxrays, and today I'm bringing you guys our Week 9 team builder versus the Osaka Eevees, coached by Shadow Gaming Hub, aka Colton. His YouTube and Twitter will be in the description below, as will the rest of the coaches of D2. Maybe that's usually done in the match because I'm lazy. Anyway, Colton has a relatively scary team, and we will get into it in a moment, just as well as our team to counter that. However, to start things off, we are going to go over the Golden Pokeball Award. As you can see, despite Mega Lopunny not getting any kills last week or the week previously, last week obviously because I didn't bring it, it is still at the top with a very comfortable lead of 18-0, without really anything looking to catch up to it. Potentially the Mammoth bug we do play early soon, so hopefully I can stop that from happening. Anyway, of course, we do have Mega Lopunny, Mammoth and Mega Pinsir in the top 3, and then everything else down below that you guys can check out in a little bit. We also have Ryuncliffe now at number 8, with its little sweep against Rye last week, so that's pretty cool. And in addition to that, we have the league table, and the league table is actually going to be a little bit more significant this week, because we have 3 matches left. Once against Colton, once versus Ellie, and once versus Tup of the Pittsburgh Paratataz. As you can see, we're in first place by that win. Differential is relatively close between me and Ellie, but when you look at my record and everyone else's, Ellie is in second place with 1 win, or with 1 loss. Then in the next closest is Paul, who is 5-3. So if we get 1 more win, we confirm our spot for Division 1, because as soon as we are 9-0, or as soon as we have 9 wins, nobody else can catch up to us. There are only 3 games left. If I go 8-3, then Paul or Jack can potentially catch us. If I get 1 more win, then I'm officially in second place and no one can catch up to me. So this game, as is the rest of the matches that we have to play after this, are going to be extremely important, because 1 win confirms our spot in Division 1. Of course, we are still gunning for that championship, that number 1 spot, but Division 1 is the primary goal, and we are very close to achieving it. So, without further ado, let's go over Colton's team. As you can see, he's got a actually very scary squad with Mega Sableye, Rotom Heat, Gothitelle, got the Mega Sableye Goth combo. Then he's got Nidoking, Hitmontop, Jirachi, Sharpedo, Noivern, and Zangoose. And yeah, his team is pretty threatening, especially now that he has Sharpedo. He actually, this cheeky old guy here, picked up Sharpedo specifically for me, because it puts in a lot of work versus my entire roster. As you can see, this is the 6th that I'm bringing. A little bit of a spoiler before the video, but Sharpedo puts in a lot of work versus my entire team. Has the potential to 2KO the entire team. With Speed Boost, it can definitely outspeed things like my Mega Lopunny after a boost, and just deal a lot of damage to my team. So without further ado, let's get into our team builder. He also traded away Tentacruel for Hitmontop. Not that that helps him too much versus me, because I do have things to stop it, but without further ado, let's get into the team real quick. We have the return of Mega Lopunny. Return. Get it. And we have the return of Mega Lopunny. Return, Drain Punch, Sub, and Baton Pass. This is the first time I'm not bringing a fake-out Mega Lopunny, and there's a pretty good reason for that. He has a couple switch-ins to my Mega Lopunny. He used to have Chestnut. That was pretty good. My original plan was set up a Sub, versus something like Mega Sableye. He'd switch out in a Chestnut, I set up a Sub, go out in a Zapdos, and he can't break it, and I have a fun time there, but it still works relatively well for things like this. For example, suppose I set up a Sub as he goes out into Gothitelle in order to trap me. I now have a free switch out into my Tyranitar, which hits anything very hard that I'll get into, and the Tyranitar set I'll get into in a little bit. You saw it was Choice Banded, it's going to hit things very hard. I have to be a little bit careful of potentially like Scarf, Infiltrator, Noivern, because that can knock me out from behind a Sub with a Hurricane or even an Air Slash, but I do have my Zapdos to kind of take that on, as well as some other things on my team. Zangoose I'm not super worried about, just because I check it offensively with most things and then defensively with most things, so I'm not super worried there. But anyway, back to the Lopunny. Baton Pass is so that I can avoid being trapped by the Gothitelle. With the speed investment 164 Jolly, I actually am able to outspeed a timid Scarfed Gothitelle, meaning that I will be able to outspeed it, get up a Baton Pass, and switch out into my Tyranitar immediately to Pursuit Trap it, which is going to be awesome. Also, Drain Punch is nice because I don't necessarily need High Jump Kick. The only thing it would really hit harder or that I wouldn't be able to knock out would be like Rotom Heat, maybe Hitmontop or Jirachi, but I'm not going to be super keen on staying in versus those anyway. So Drain Punch is really nice. It's also good because I need this thing fully healthy for that Sharpedo. This is one of my checks to it, one of the few checks that I have to it, so I definitely need this thing healthy so I can knock it out with a Drain Punch. And yeah, Sub is also nice because I can dodge a Will-O-Wisp from Mega Sableye if he's potentially running it. If he's running Protect to try and catch me going for a high jump kick, I sub up on that and then knock him out with 2 Drain Punches. And Return puts in good work versus his team, knocks out the Zangoose as well as Drain Punch, of course. Can hit the Noivern very hard, hits the Rotom Heat very hard, 2 KOs the Gothitelle, so that's why I'm running this set. Don't necessarily need Fake Out, because a lot of his switch-ins don't care about Fake Out anyway. So yeah, that is our Mega Lopunny. Moving on, we have our Zapdos here. Now, originally, before he made the Sharpedo exchange, I made this, the same speed investment, same amount of HP, but I had this 156 into Spadef, basically just to take on the Nidoking as well as the Noivern a little bit better. However, with the Sharpedo, he's definitely bringing Sharpedo. It does so much work to my team. He picked it up pretty much just for me, so I definitely need to prepare a little bit more for that. So I'm adding this into defense investment so that I can take Waterfalls and Crunches, even Ice Fangs as best as possible. If he's running mixed with Ice Beam, it's not going to do a ton to me, and I don't think he's going to be running Ice Beam. I feel like he's going to be dual stab and then probably like HP Fire for Ferrothorn, otherwise you can't touch Ferrothorn. So that is why I have that. I may also have Poison Jab to hit my Whimsicott, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, this is that's the reason behind this spread. Timid with 100 in EVs and speed allows me to outspeed a timid non-scarfed Nidoking, which is pretty important. Nidoking is not a mon that I can switch into super freely, because that's just what Nidoking does. Obviously, it outspeeds my Nidoqueen, I can't hit it, and I do have my Jellicent to kind of check it and kind of switch into it, but I'll get into that in a little bit. And then these 3 moves are just really good for his team. Volt Switch gains me momentum versus a lot of things. He doesn't have a ground type aside from Nidoking, which I can hit with the HP Ice. Heat Wave, of course, for the Jirachi. And then we have HP Ice for things like the Noivern, the Nidoking. And then, of course, Roost just to keep ourselves healthy. This is another one of my Sharpedo checks. So I need this as healthy as possible. I 100% need this at near full health all of the time, because if I lose this, then I'm losing one of the checks to the biggest threat to my team. Now, with the Zapdos being covered, I think I explained that pretty well. We are now going to go into our Jellicent. Now, this is... I fiddled around with this a lot. As you can see, the EV spread's kind of weird. This is my best switch into the Nidoking. If he is not Life Orb, I can take 2 hits from any set. If he is Life Orb, I take 2 Earth Powers. Pretty much that's it. I can take 2 Earth Powers. I can take, obviously, Sludge Waves. If he has Shadow Ball, then okay, good on him, but I can pivot around this and as well as my Zapdos. So this is like a kind of check to a Scarf variant. If he's Life Orb, then I can take 2 Earth Powers, like I said, and I can potentially take 2 Earthquakes depending on his set. So this is probably my best switch into it. I don't think he's going to be running Thunderbolt. He needs Dual Stab, he needs Ice Beam, or like Ice Punch for my Zapdos, whether he's special or physical, and then he probably needs Flamethrower for my Ferrothorn, or else he's not going to be able to touch it. So I don't think he's going to be running Thunderbolt. This investment allows me to take on any form of Nidoking. This allows me to take on the Noivern relatively well, can potentially live a Crunch from Sharpedo, and yeah, can take hits from Rotom Heat even, and Ice Beam is just for the Noivern for the most part. Was also nice because it hit Chestnut, but he of course triggered away Chestnut. So yeah, that's why we have Ice Beam with baiting Shadow Ball as well for the Gothitelle, but I don't super need it, just Ice Beam and then Scald to spread burns. Will-O-Wisp is nice because burning things is really good. His Will-O-Wisp immunity is Rotom Heat, which he wouldn't want to switch directly in on me. And if I can, and burning the Sharpedo would be lovely. Like if I can live a hit and then burn it, I will happily take a near-dead Jellicent for that thing burned, because that thing is just an issue to my team, and I'm kind of scared of it. But yeah, this is the Jellicent set, meant to take on as many things as possible, can do so relatively well, and some of those things are big threats to my team, so that's good. Jellicent, I hope you do your job well. So moving on, we have the Mon I spoiled a little bit earlier, but we have our Choice Banded Tyranitar. I originally had Fire Punch just because it hit Jirachi and Chestnut, so I didn't have to predict, like, just go for a crunch. I could just click Banded Fire Punch and do massive damage. But he traded away, so I decided to go with Superpower. I could have gone Earthquake for the Hitmontop, and Superpower seems kind of weird because he does no fighting weakness aside from Sharpedo, which dies to Stone Edge anyway. But Superpower is essentially the hardest thing I can hit the Hitmontop with on the switch-in. Don't get Zen Headbutt, don't get anything like that. So Superpower is pretty much just a good move to have there. Like, suppose, and it's not terrible for his team, like, I can do it from Rotom Heat. Suppose he goes Rotom Heat, predicts some Brock move, and then goes out into Hitmontop. I can hit that with a Superpower. Earthquake would have been nicer, the Tentacruel, but Banded Stone Edge does a ton anyway, and I'm not super concerned about it, so that is why I have that. No, he doesn't have Tentacruel anymore. What am I? I'm an idiot. Whatever. You saw nothing. Superpower, hardest thing to hit him on top, basically. And that's why I have that. And again, this is a free switch into Gothitelle. It can't do a KO me with anything except for like a Specs HP fighting, maybe a Specs Signal Beam. But if I'm in versus my Lopunny, he's not going to go for Signal Beam. He might go for Hidden Power Fire, but especially if I'm behind a sub, I Baton Pass it out into this and then Pursue Trap him, and his Gothitelle's dead. So that's awesome. Moving on, we have our Choice Specs Whimsicott set I've brought in the past. Moonblast, Psychic, Shadow Ball, HP Water with the Choice Specs. I really wanted to put Encore on this, and I may change Hidden Power Water to Encore. Hidden Power Water was to... is to hit the Rotom Heat as well as give me a good neutral move for Nidoking in case he goes Rotom Heat trying to take a hit. I can easily 2KO any form of Rotom Heat with the Choice Specs. Psychic and Shadow Ball. Psychic, of course, is for the... Got a message. What do I need? Psychic. Oh yeah, Psychic's for the Nidoking. Can OHKO that potentially. And then Shadow Ball, of course, is for the Jirachi, also hits the Gothitelle very hard, and then Moonblast is very good versus his team. Once he loses his Rotom Heat, he doesn't have a good switch into Moonblast. Nidoking is still taking a lot of damage from that. So that's why I have that. Offensive Whimsicott does really good work versus his team. I might change Hidden Power Water to Encore because I can potentially Encore the Sharpedo into Protect or something like that, which is something I'm definitely interested in, but I'm not 100% sure because I really don't want to be caught not being able to hit that Rotom Heat because it just gains him a lot of momentum. If he goes for a Volt Switch and like my Nidoqueen's gone for something, I could potentially just hit him with the Hidden Power Water before that and deal massive damage to him. Now, the last mon I'm going to go over is our Nidoqueen rocking the Shed Shell, of course not to be trapped by the Gothitelle. And if he goes for a Psyshock on my Latifa, again, free switch out into Tyranitar, free Pursuit, and free dead Gothitelle. So moves are running Earth Power, Sludge Wave, Flamethrower, and of course Stealth Rock. This is our rocker. Rocks kind of hurt his team. They hurt the Noivern, they hurt the Rotom Heat, and because I'm modest offensive, Mega Sableye has a chance to be 2KO'd. And even if it's not, I can force it to recover, maybe get a free switch out into my Mega Lopunny. Do some good damage there. Flamethrower... Why do I have Flamethrower? Why do I have Flamethrower? I forget why I have Flamethrower. I'm going to change that. Yeah, don't need that. Don't need that whatsoever. So we're just gonna change that to Ice Beam. Hit the Noivern. That's cool. And I guess the Nidoking as well. Give me a nice neutral move there. He goes Sucker Punches, whatever. We'll leave it as this for now. I'll change it when we get to the match and I'll let you guys know. And then Stealth Rock, like I said, hurt his team relatively decently. His spinner is walled by my Jellicent, so that's cool. And like I said, offensive Sableye does not appreciate a modest, or Mega Sableye does not appreciate taking a modest Earth Power. So that is why I'm running this as my Stealth Rocker. Even though he has the Mega Sableye, I can work around that. So that is the team. Like I said, this is an extremely important match. If I win one of my next three, then I am 100% in Division 1 for the next season, and that would be awesome. Colton's team, of course, is very annoying. The Jirachi, the Gothitelle, the Mega Sableye can cause issues. However, I do have one of the best checks to Mega Sableye, being my Mega Lopunny. I have responses for his Noivern, I have responses for his defense. The thing I'm most concerned about is that Sharpedo, because there's a reason why he specifically picked that up for me. He saw the amount of work it put in on my team, and I have to be very, very careful with it. So, thank you guys very much for watching. Hopefully we can put up a good fight versus Colton, and I hope you enjoy the match that will be going up tomorrow, and have a nice day, everyone.